Today, we are announcing Coleman. AI has already entered the mainstream and it's making our lives infinitely easier. AI is the new steam engine, the new electricity, and it will transform everything. Our job at Infor is to bring it to the enterprise and the industries that we serve.
Let's quickly take a look at some of the capabilities of Infor Coleman. With a focused connection into our API gateway we call the Ion API, we've repurposed and added our own spin to the Amazon Lex toolset to enable tenant-specific deployment and management of AI skills. Therefore, using Coleman, we can automate any request or task both within our Infor ecosystem or even external systems through our secure and certified Ion API gateway. Once we authenticate a user into Infor OS, our horizontal technology cloud suite at Infor, we can access Coleman through a couple of different ways. First, through Infor Chat, our latest evolution of our collaboration strategy, where I can have real-time conversations with my colleagues around groups and topics, or one-on-one interactions where Coleman is always available as a persistent user, always readily available to answer any questions or assist with any task. So for instance, I can request contact information from user profiles, like, what is the email address of Massimo? Or, what is the phone number for Emily Williams? Or let's say I want to automate a process that is maybe time-consuming or a bit difficult for me to find in my environment, for instance, setting up an out-of-office request. I'll navigate to my user profile quickly to show that this has been disabled. But now if I go back and establish my intent, I'm going on vacation. Coleman asks for a start date and an end date. And finally, an option to delegate my tasks and alerts associated to any of my workflow-related activities, and in this case, I'll pass those off to my colleague Manju. Once I have the confirmation, let's go back to my user settings, and now you can see how that API has been executed in accordance with my parameters to cover both the date range and the delegated activities. But perhaps something a bit deeper and more complex. What if I need to query my connected GHR system, maybe for a skill evaluation for an employee? Here I can also ask Coleman, what skills does Michael Lee have? And I'm shown the list directly out of our Infor GHR product, where perhaps it's several screens away, or I'm a manager unfamiliar with the associated screens, and I just need the information quickly. But to take that a bit further, maybe I need to know, what proficiency does Michael Lee have for his clinical monitoring skill? But just to be sure, let's check our source here. Another standard skill we offer is natural language voice navigation. So let's just request, navigate to the skill management screen for Michael Lee.
Taking you there now.
So as you can see, we can just request what I'm looking for or where I want to go, and Coleman can automatically help guide me. And the onboarding implications for this type of use case is massive with our users. But here I can check that indeed the Coleman response matches the skills listed for this employee, as well as the exceeds expectation rating on the clinical monitoring skill. Now a second way I can interact with Coleman is by voice, which you just saw with the voice navigation feature. We have Coleman available in our Infor OS header, which persists throughout all of our applications, and using the Lex tap-to-talk profile, I can execute against the exact same skill set. So let's say I now know enough about Michael and I've received nominations to promote him, but for the sake of argument, let's say it's too tedious of a process to execute or I just want to do it quickly. Let's go ahead and promote employee Michael Lee.
Great. What position would you like to promote to?
Vice President.
What management reason would you like to cite?
Executive Off-Cycle.
And what's the effective date?
December 1st.
Great. The promotion has been submitted for processing.
One less thing on my list completed in seconds. But let's now alter my use cases over to another one of our micro verticals, food and beverage manufacturing. I need to check the lead time on an item.
What is the item?
Orange juice.
And what is the warehouse number?
132.
Lead time is 5 days.
Or then if I try to execute an operation I'm not authorized for, create a purchase order for orange juice.
You do not have permission to order while inventory levels are within tolerance. Please contact Michelle Rose for any requests to override.
And lastly, we have the mobile APIs to extend this to mobile scenarios as well. This was just a snapshot into our Coleman digital assistant capabilities, and we are just scratching the surface of what we can offer with Infor AI.